5 in a row. Can they make it happen against a lowly Sabres squad, Pete Thompson?
Yeah, they're lowly, but they're 2-0-2 in their last couple. Don't look at them lightly.
All right. What is the secret behind the Flyers' success? That movie was starring Michael J. Fox. This will be Stephen J. Coates.
Yes,
stepping
Esquire.
into the role of Michael J. Fox. The secret of the Flyers' success, Stephen Coates, what has changed since the last time we had a conversation? You were in Western Canada.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
They're all playing it straight. Everything has been exactly the same.
Well, yeah. They might have changed their neutral zone defensive situation a little bit to a 1-2-2 from a 1-3-1, but outside of that, same personnel. I mean, it's interesting how we can watch the Flyers and we have a problem. There's no two ways about it. The team was not playing well. They had lost some games that they should have won because of the veterans, not the rookies. Then they had two clunkers, real lousy games at home prior to going on the road. But when they got on the road, obviously it's a little bit easier sometimes as compared to playing in front of the home crowd. But nothing changed. But everybody gets, well, we got to fire the coach. We got to do this. Oh, my God, it's the end of the world. What are we going to do? But for the whole year, we've been talking about the fact that we got not one, not two, at times this year, we've had 4 rookies playing defense. That's unheard of. 4. Now, tonight we'll have 2. Up until the other game when Gudis came back, we had 3. Mm-hmm. So we're on the West Coast and still won with that number of kids playing back on the blue line. But it's still unheard of. So when you see the 10-game on losing streak and you see that the veterans are the ones making the mistake, then, as Ron Hextall said, they're playing well. It's just a matter of closing out the business. And right now they're playing a lot better, a lot more together. And it's a team that Claude Giroux said to us the other night in our postgame. They've been together. They stayed together throughout the problems, and it showed. And bottom line is that is it going to be the Stanley Cup champion? No. It's a team that's in a developing stage, especially with all the kids back in the blue line. And then when you think about it, you always can tell how young this team is when the number of guys that got to pay at the rookie dinner. The rookies take the veterans for dinner. All the team goes out. They have a great time. And I think there was 5 guys that had to pay for the rookie dinner. That's unheard of, too. Usually you might have one and it gets really stuck for a big bill.
I only asked that because Claude Giroux did say after that 3-game, Western Canada, he said, I think our identity kind of changed a little bit with that road trip. So what is he referring to by himself saying, I think our identity changed a little bit?
Well, I think that they were a lot calmer. I don't think that their style of play changed. I think that people probably had a different thought process, and when looking at the Philadelphia Flyers, not as a team that lost 10 in a row, but as a team that just won 3 in a row on the West Coast. That's unheard of, too. A lot of different things with this team that really have come up a lot different than what is the norm in the National Hockey League. But it's the same group of guys, and I'm with them all the time, and I tell you, the demeanor got a little tighter heading out west. There's no two ways about it. Well, it was a little tight here, too, but if you watch them congratulate each other after that game in Calgary, it looked like they had won some kind of championship. Even Jake Voracek said that he likened winning that game in Calgary to break the streak as compared to winning World Championship with the Czech Republic.
Hey, Coatsy, since you brought up Jake Voracek, what about his streak right now and how he's playing right now? Because since they dropped him from the top line to the second line, they're 4-0. They've won 4 straight games, and I know he had back-to-back games where he had 3 assists in each of those games. The guy is playing at a high level right now, beard or no beard.
Yeah, that beard, it was time for that to go. But when you take a look at the switching of the lines, if you want to say something's different, then okay, the lines are different, but that's just a matter of business on a day-to-day basis on a hockey team. But when you have one line that's responsible for 46% of the scoring, that means it's a lot easier for the opponent to be able to just have one big line, go out and check them. And then if you stop them, you got a pretty good chance of stopping the hockey team. So now you mix it up a little bit. You put Simmons up with Giroux and Couturier. You move him back, Voracek that is, with Filppula, who's a real good centerman, and put Raffl on the other side, who's been around, gives you the same work ethic, hasn't had a lot of closure until the last couple of weeks, with an opportunity to be able to put some numbers up. And, you know, you have two good lines. And actually, the Flyers have three lines of the four. They're working pretty good. Lawton Lear has done a good job with connecting on that wing. The one that's got to get going for this team to be successful on a lot more consistent basis is Patrick Weiss and Wheel.
Yeah, that third line for sure. Now, since you mentioned the young defense, too, and they've got Andrew McDonald back, and then Gudas came back the other night, how do you think Gudas looked? What does he bring to this hockey club that makes them so much better by having Radko Gudas in that lineup?
I always say that there's nobody knows better about what it's going to look like on the ice as the team that's sitting in the locker room and looking around and say, okay, good. Now we don't have 4 rookies back on the blue line. Now we don't have 3 rookies back on the blue line. We have 2 rookies, and we got Radko Gudas back, who's going to provide the physicality back there and bring a lot of credibility as far as the blue line is concerned. That veteran, he's the second most games played for a guy on this hockey club back on the blue line. And don't think for a second, oh, yeah, he had a 10-game suspension, cost him close to $500,000. And all of a sudden he's going to change his ways. He's got to go out and play the game that he knows how to play. What he's got to get away from is that 2% or 1% of anger management problem where he does something silly. And if he just gets a little bit more contained, then everything will be just fine. But he brings an awful lot to the table. Did he look himself the other night? That's a long time to be out. And as much as everybody says you're in great shape, you still have to be in hockey shape. And I thought probably by the third period he looked back all right.
How about Brian Elliott? Because he's gotten the majority of the work now with Noivy out. And how's Brian Elliott look to you, and can he handle that load?
Oh, I think he can handle the load. There's no two ways about that. And I think he's probably, on a consistent basis, he could be right there with Couturier, our best player this year. I mean, he has just been really good. And at the beginning of the year, I got to be honest, I was watching him. I just, wow, he just looks tentative. He just doesn't look like he's really on top of it. But, boy, I'll tell you what, he certainly has proved me wrong. He's just been absolutely great. And that's what you need. You got to have that guy do the real good job to be able to come up with the save at a time in the rhythm of the hockey game to make sure that your team stays competitive. He's certainly filled the void in that aspect. The last time I think that I saw a bad goal was the one that was scored the other night by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Patrick Marleau coming down the wing, that shouldn't have gone in, but Elliott be the first guy to tell you that it shouldn't have gone in.
Right, he's going to make his 6th start tonight. Michael Raffl, by the way, plays in his 300th game. How about the Michael Raffl, like, off the scrap heap? You know what I mean? The guy was left for dead for the fact that he wasn't able to get a point in so many games to start the season. And then on that Western Canada trip, he got red hot.
Well, he got an opportunity to play with different players. It's a reality. You're only as good as who you play with. And so you're playing him in the 4th line on the right side. He's not a right winger. Can he play right wing? Yeah, but he's not a right winger. And you got Scott Lawton, who's a 3rd-year player, playing in he's got, I think, 150 games and change in the National Hockey League. And you got Taylor Lear, who's a rookie. So is that fair to Michael Raffl, who's now playing in his 300th game, to make it available to be able to do what he can do? Probably not, but at that time, that's the way it was all funneling towards how everybody was going to make the hockey club and where they wanted to fit you in. So Raffl now all of a sudden has an opportunity to go up and play with Filppula and Voracek. Obviously, a difference in skill level. That skill level provides more opportunity for him to get the puck to them and for them to get the puck to him. And he has absolutely taken advantage of that, and now you've created yourself a real good second line.
Steve Coates will have the call tonight with Tim Saunders here on 97.3 ESPN. That coverage begins at 7 o'clock as the Flyers take on the Buffalo Sabres. Coatesy, you're a gem.
Gentlemen, as always, have a great day. I always enjoy myself having the opportunity to talking hockey with you.